Han,
Solo.
Han,
Solo.
a Star Wars
Story.
Bum bum bum. Technically, it's this called Solo, so that's what we just came back from watching.
Yes.
Now, I'm Adrian.
I'm Ian.
AI Reviews.
I've been here, yo.
We're gonna get right into it.
Yes.
Like we usually do. In it. I know a lot of people out there in Arizona went to Comic-Con. Maybe didn't decide to go watch Solo tonight. Your loss, or is it? We're about to find out.
Yes.
So, I know everyone probably wants me to get into my immediate was it good or not. I'm going to defer to someone I feel who has probably watched Star Wars more than myself. Ian, take it away.
I have way too much to say about this movie right now.
Remember to save some for the spoilers.
I'm not going to do any spoilers on this. I'm focused on not spoiling this, but right
Focus,
now,
man.
I didn't really have high hopes going in, so I had a low ceiling
True
for this
story.
one.
Very true story.
I had a very low ceiling. I was like, I didn't expect it to wow me.
Safe to say, you and I both Rogue One,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I came into this one too.
Rogue One was except for the last like 5 minutes. That's basically what was the only word for the whole movie for me.
Grace.
Yeah. In this one, I was expecting like, all right, I don't know how you'll pull off a Han movie. I mean, it's a hard character, and then now you don't have Harrison doing it. So can this guy handle Han and be charming and be cool and all the stuff that you would like to
Basically hold the mantle.
Yeah.
For the
Solo.
charismatic character that Harrison Ford has created that we all know and love.
And for my opinion, he didn't at all. Like, I enjoyed everybody else more than I enjoyed him. Like, Han wasn't as sharp. Like, the way Lando is the way Han should have been.
Almost as if they were trying to say that Han got his style from him.
Han.
Right?
Yeah, or something like that. Like, he took it from Lando, but it's like he's not there. I mean, the side characters that are barely, like, they're just all there. Like, you're like, oh, they're more interesting than Han right now. I'm like, why is he not charming? Why is he not giving off, like, that same thing? It's just kind of like he's there. Almost like he's a secondary character in his own movie.
There was a lot of character development in the film that, I mean, you kind of see how they try to build him up and kind of make him who he is.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, they established very early on that he's a good guy.
Yeah, and
he wants to be a bad guy.
Yeah. They don't embrace the scoundrel. What he is. Like, he's a scoundrel, and that's how the original movie was. He was a scoundrel and a smuggler, and then he had a kind of change of heart. And I expect in this movie, you should have been more just scoundrel.
I think, I don't want to speak for the Disney folks. It kind of seems like this movie is a total launching point for him, where he's not sure he wants to be a smuggler and enter that realm, and maybe they'll do a feature film. No spoilers. I don't know if they plan on that because we were talking about that, and there's no mention of a Solo sequel yet.
Yes, which also causes issues to me in the story, because I feel like they're putting plot stuff in place, like they're doing sequels, and if you don't know the Star Wars universe, there's some plot points where you're like, what is this?
And I'll just say right away that this is a Star Wars film. It definitely feels like a Star Wars film. Is it a good Star Wars film? It's good, but it's not great. And I don't know about anyone else. For me, I want a great Star Wars film. I'm tired of seeing a mediocre or an okay Star Wars film. I really want to see a great Star Wars film. I think it's well overdue. This does not deliver that, in my personal opinion. It delivers a good film, not a great film. Same chemical formula. Oh, look, there's a smart mouth droid. Has better AI than what it probably should.
Yes.
Chewbacca does a great job once again. Chewie never fails on screen.
No.
Does what he does. What's her name? Emilia Clarke from Game of Thrones. good job on her character. Really good job. She was acting. I wanted to know what happened to her.
Yeah, you want to know more about her story than you want than Han.
You know, everyone has backstory, and you want to know these other characters that they introduce. You're like, well, what's their backstory? And you're like, I kind of know Han's backstory, and it doesn't seem that interesting.
Yeah. It's like, and the cool thing about the thing is Lando's there. You don't need to know his. Like he comes off,
which is crazy.
Like, he comes off so cool and so just like way he is. You don't even care about his backstory. Just the way he is right now is like entertaining.
I feel like they made Lando the Rick James of Star Wars.
Like you just like Lando's there. You're like, I'm cool with Lando.
Especially if you've ever seen Dave Chappelle, I feel like Lando was like one of the sexiest of all time. The baddest of all time.
Hold my cape.
Right? I basically was waiting for him to say something like that. So we'll go ahead and get into the rating of it because I really want to talk about spoilers right now.
Yes.
So what would you give this on a scale of 1 to 5?
As a big Star Wars fan as I am, and the way I feel about this, I kind of want to throw it as like the worst Star Wars movie out there. Like,
really?
Like, I mean,
Rogue
One at least had a saving moment for me. There isn't a saving moment in this movie for me.
Okay.
There isn't. Like,
all right.
Vader at least was like, oh, snap, Vader. That's worth it.
All right.
There isn't a scene in here where I'm like, that was totally worth it. Like, this didn't... Where I rank them all, I'm like, yeah, this falls on the bottom. It's 2.5.
All right. I will not be as cruel. I will give it a solid 2.9 to 3. I'm going to give it a solid 3. I'm around up and not down. So, again, there is a good mix. Like the chemistry formula, the chemical formula they have for Star Wars movies is followed almost to a T in this. There's the normal, hey, look, I have to get away from this. Hey, look, I have to shoot this. Hey, look, I have to steal this. Hey, we need a plan for this. Hey, we need to get away. Oh, no. Now someone has foiled our plan. Oh, no, we need to do this. Oh, no, we need to do that. Oh, and movie. Textbook. I expected more. Not really. But they didn't get it. All right, so, like I said, so it's 2.5 from him. I'll give it a solid 3. I legit don't know if I watched it at the IMAX, okay? I legit don't know if you need to see this in the theater. If you are a Star Wars fan, obviously yes. Check it out maybe. I enjoyed watching it visually at the IMAX. If I wasn't at the IMAX, I don't know if I would have liked it as much. Just because huge cinematic space scenes were awesome to see on that large of a screen. Maybe not so much on a smaller screen. Maybe not so much on a smaller screen. So, without further ado, this is the time we're gonna get into spoilers. No Death Star, but we're gonna get into spoilers. Might feel like a Death Star if you stay and watch and you don't want to hear about spoilers.
I'm about to drop one right off the bat, so
I concur. I'm gonna drop it with you at the same time. We're gonna drop the hammer.
So I would stop right now.
We might even mic drop and then stop spoilers right there and be like done and then turn off the video. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Spoilers in 5, 4.
Darth Maul!
Darth Maul! Darth Maul! Now, if we roll back to what Ian said, that Rogue One had a saving grace of Vader, this technically is not a saving grace.
No.
Because he doesn't really do anything.
Yeah,
you get hyped for a second, you're like, oh,
and you're thinking like, okay, he's about to go do something, and you just stand here, and he basically unnecessarily turns on his lightsaber, which I still don't understand what was the need for him to turn on.
Fanfare. Clearly fanfare.
And I'm just like, what? Okay. And then I had to think about it, like, is he still alive right now? Like, I had to go back.
Timeline inconsistencies.
And for people that now see this
Potentially.
and think like, well, he died in Phantom Menace, so how is he still alive? So if you haven't watched Clone Wars and the Clone Wars cartoon series, they address the fact that he didn't die, and he basically created those robot legs.
Because somebody found him?
Actually, he did it himself. So he basically landed in the trash after he did, and he basically survived himself with the techniques and Sith.
Because the dark side was so strong.
The dark side of Force, and he willed himself, and he basically survived for a while, and then he went on. So
will survive.
That is kind of why he's still around. So if you watched any of those, you see that he's still been alive and he's still there. And then they eventually kill him off later. But
the Sith is strong, yo. The Sith is strong.
The Sith is strong. They don't just go away very easily, especially if you cut them in half. Like, come on.
The other spoiler alert, Lando's hideout is where the rest of the black people are in Star Wars.
If you wonder where they was at, they was with Lando.
Wow.
Until he went, and they mentioned it. He mentions the Cloud City for like a second.
Yes.
Because he goes, this is money pit. He's just taking all my money and the thing. And they're like, yeah. And he mentions the Cloud City, but like that was like those small little bit. They're like, oh yeah, I own this other small planet over here.
And the Millennium Falcon looks significantly better
and thinner,
like a white and blue, and they made it. Yeah, like Ian said, they made it like a thicker ship as time goes on. Apparently, they add stuff to it. I'm assuming, and I really want to say assume, I'm going to surmise that it's thicker because it gets more plating so it can be shot at more like it is in the rest of the films. Because let's be honest, that ship gets shot a ton and doesn't ever actually blow up.
It doesn't.
It gets really damaged.
It hardly ever gets any damage in other movies, and this one it's like you get shot and like little sightings are come off. You're like, that's never happened in the Millennium Falcon.
But apparently this was before it got.
This one was brand new and shiny.
And yeah, and all that good stuff. And the blasters aren't the same either, right?
Yeah.
So blasters are different because on the later ones, there's like a double cannon, right? This one's just a single.
Well, the cannon's gone.
Yeah. Well, it ends up getting gone.
Yeah. So that's why it's a new cannon.
That's why it's a new cannon.
The seat's the same, but the cannon's different.
Yes, exactly. And then we have the throwback to the Wookiee of ripping off the arms.
Yes.
I was actually surprised.
Well, that was like
that was a bloody scene.
Yes.
Did you notice that there was blood on the wall from that? I was like, oh my gosh.
But they've always talked about it. They never actually showed him rip off an arm. They was hinted.
He ripped off arms.
Yeah, they always hinted the fact that
this individual lost his arms.
And he was like, I could have wore that uniform if you had.
He's like, and you had to go and mess up the suit that was my perfect size. Would have fit me perfectly. And then he's like,
and they actually addressed the fact that Han actually can speak a little Wookiee, which I had an issue for the longest time that he never said anything Wookiee. He'd always just understand and talk back, but he would never say anything Wookiee. And they finally addressed that he knows.
That was one moment. That was a high moment for me of the film where he was like, and I was like, oh, what? Did he do that on purpose or? Oh, because I thought he was gurgling since Chewbacca was choking him, right? Yeah. But he does it, and he's like, "I speak a little." Basically, is what he was trying to tell him, and that was a cool moment. That alone is not enough to push this over my rating, though.
Yeah.
What else do you want to talk about?
I mean, they have little stuff here and there, but it's just the overall, like I said earlier before, that it's just. The other characters are more entertaining. It's just, I mean, even the robot that wants liberation is at least...
L3 was interesting.
Yeah.
And somehow they managed to work in a political viewpoint. Okay. So she's a female-sounding robot who is all about equal rights for robots. But on the down low...
Because they're all just basically service, and they want to be... She wants them to be free.
Knock, or not a knock, but was that a throwback to slavery?
Probably, because they're saying the fact that all these robots are used
and
for...
she technically like Lando, who was black?
Yes.
That's right, I took it there. So that was interesting. I don't really know why that was there, but she was actually... Her robotic character was a little bit more interesting than Han at moments.
Yes.
So,
like most of the characters that you see at the time are a little more interesting.
And then what's her name? That was supposedly a marauder, but wasn't a marauder.
Yeah.
I was like, where'd she come from? What's going on with this? Well, I wanted to know more about her.
And it seemed like that was like his daughter or something. They never really explained.
Ooh.
The one marauder, the lead one. So like how he was running with the girl and the mom.
Oh yeah.
That like it might be his daughter, but they never really explained it. They kind of have like a weird implication that he might.
For a second, I was like, is she gonna be alive and it's gonna be her? And then she takes the mask off. I'm like, oh, a freckle face, light skin black girl.
And I'm like, is that his daughter?
Well, you know what? Probably not, because if you remember, all those people on that little planet right there, they were all black, basically, right?
Yes, but then he also saying the fact that she was like, well, if my mom was still alive and was still using the things,
Using her mask.
and like, and then it was kind
Oh,
of
she
like,
didn't take off her mask. That's what
yeah,
it was.
and so it was kind of like saying that she left them to go with him.
I don't think that's what
But
it
I don't
was.
know, because they kind of had a weird implication, like they
That's
knew
a good
each other.
point, though. That's a
They
good
knew
point.
each other.
Well,
and like stuff was
if you
gonna happen.
if you remember, his girl mentions them in the very beginning,
Yeah.
and he says that he knows them, right? So he's aware of them because he worked with them in the past.
So that's what I think is like, was she part of them and took them away?
That's an interesting point. Good
And
point,
that
Ian.
could,
That could be a plot point there. And if so, they could have expounded upon that even more, because that actually was very
because
interesting.
they kind of said, oh, they all came from different places that were hurt by the Empire. And
Oh, did you or did you not like the little nod to who shot first towards the end?
yes, I saw that when it was like, Han. I was like, oh, Han shot first.
So there's at the very end, it's Woody Harrelson, and throughout the entire film, they've been hyping up Woody Harrelson as this amazing gunslinger. I mean, all kinds of tricks and doodads, and he's just lasering everybody down, pew, 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 pew. And then he's about to do this quick draw with Han, and Han's like,
and he's like, I'm gonna tell you something.
pew.
He's like, nah, I ain't got time for that.
And he was like, that was the first best good idea you had ever. So that answers that question. I think most of us already knew it was Han. So
Han always shot first,
let's see what else. Anything else you want to talk about for spoilers on this one?
I mean, there's so much like just random like little things in here.
I definitely feel there were a lot of little miniature Easter eggs in between. I was trying to focus on some of those things, but at the same time, I was hoping to get a better story. I guess.
mean, like they were trying to show off the Millennium Falcon and what it could do. I mean, we've seen it. I know what the ship can do. I don't need extra highlights on the ship. It's just, I think this. I felt better if this movie didn't even focus on the Millennium Falcon.
You know, I just realized what it is. So maybe if I knew nothing about Star Wars, this movie works for me. But for the simple fact that I already know that none of the heroes are in danger.
Because I mean, you already know.
You know they're not gonna die because
And
obviously
that's the problem they have with the prequels sometimes. Because you sit there and go, well, Anakin can't die and Obi-Wan can't die because hell, they're in the other ones. And it's the same thing with this one. Like Solo can't die. And Chewie can't die, and Lando can't die.
Basically, everyone on the ship can't die except for the two other people who are not ever seen again.
So you're thinking, okay, well, these three are safe no
matter
what peril happens, what situation.
They could be flying into the sun, and somehow they're gonna live.
Yeah, and that's the problem with I felt like doing prequels and stories, and I feel like they should stop focusing on Anakin through Luke, and just go. I mean, now they've gone past Luke, but either past Luke or pre-Anakin is where they should basically go now.
Yes. There should be something that leads up to the finding of Anakin, maybe.
And here's the thing, they don't even
not after him.
They don't even need to evolve Anakin. I mean, you already have a character that you can go Old Republic with, and that's Yoda. Because he's 800, 900 years old. So you could go Old Republic and go, hey, this is Yoda training. Or Sith Wars back.
I still want to see them do a story on who trained Yoda.
Yes.
That's what I want to see.
And they could go who trained Yoda, and then they actually can go through that. Which is weird because there's actually the Jedi Order book that actually talks about Yoda's master, and then they all write in it, which Luke burns.
And there's some great Knights of the
which
Old
Luke
Republic.
burns in the Last Jedi. The Last Jedi. Whatever.
Or, technically, was that Yoda who did it?
Technically, Yoda did it.
Yoda strike?
Technically, Yoda burned the books, but
right? Who technically, we won't reference this again, but technically, that's a Sith power, right? Lightning?
True. But he had the ability to... Well, Sith power from your actual hands. He called it from nature. So he used the nature of Force, which is Jedi. He didn't call it from his actual body.
Could Yoda technically wield dark Force powers?
Technically, Mace Windu does.
Oh.
By rule of what his lightsaber code, the reason why it's purple is because someone that wields part dark and light.
Interesting.
That's the canon reason why his lightsaber is purple.
Good to know. And there were rumors, Samuel L. Jackson himself said this, that he might be talking to them about him coming back, but on the dark side. Rumor though.
I thought originally they were trying to make him Snoke before.
Oh, really?
That would make the sense that, you know, he was electrocuted. He didn't really technically die from the fall, and then he'd come back dark side as Snoke, but then, you know, they didn't go that way, which would have been awesome.
Well, I mean, with the way they ended him, I'm kind of glad they didn't.
I'm saying because they didn't go that way. I'm saying if they would have went that way, it would have been a whole different story.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't, though. Honestly.
I don't think he would have ended the same way had it been Mace instead of if it was someone.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that the story in general would have went a whole different direction, and they would have kept his character around longer. But about this Solo movie, anything else do we want to share? Any more spoilers? I think that kind of wraps it up. I mean, we could technically watch the film again and do Easter eggs, but you know what?
I really don't want to sit through that movie again.
Yeah, I can't sit through it again.
I mean, I felt how long the movie was.
Yes.
And there's a point where I'm like, all right, cool. Can you just
drag a little bit?
Can you just wrap this up now? Like, we get this. Can we just get to the part where he? And if the crazy part is, I knew he was gonna win the Millennium Falcon in this movie. I was like, can we just get to that part where he gets the Falcon?
Oh yeah.
And it was just like, no matter what happens, I'm like, can we just speed up to the part where he wins the Falcon from Lando, or where he gets the Falcon? Because I guarantee you the movie's in with him getting the Falcon.
And then he mentions he's trying to go to Tatooine to work for a big bad gangster.
Of course, it's Jabba.
Probably Jabba's dad, right? Initially, wouldn't it be?
No, it's Jabba. It'll be Jabba.
The Hutt?
It'll be Jabba the Hutt.
I thought it'd be Jabba's dad.
No, because it's the Hutts, and I think the main Hutts die either the Clone War cartoons or in
that's right,
or in Clone War the movies, but it's Jabba at that point. The way it is.
Okay. Well, there you go.
So he'll be working for Jabba, and then that's kind of how it leads in, because it's, you know, that's only probably 10 years from 10 or so, 10, 15 maybe probably from New Hope, I'd say.
Well, I mean, Chewie's 190, so.
Yeah, which I think is kind of weird. That, I mean, it's 190, which I would rather see the characters younger and just have them out of the Star Wars thing. I feel like they need to do Yoda. That would probably be the best one.
That'd be cool, I think.
You do Yoda out of this timeline and just go back.
Just take it back.
And then you can spin off and then do a whole like trilogy in that timeline with Yoda.
Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
Trilogy would be badass.
Yes, it would.
That's right, I said it. I said it here first, before Disney does it. Don't steal my idea. If you do, you better give me credit.
Cash them out, yo. Knights of the Old Republic. They need to be doing it because it would be awesome. Actually, to see real force powers getting used over here.
That's right. So, as usual at this time, like,
comment,
subscribe,
share it to everybody.
Let us know if there are any films that you want us to suffer through for you to figure out whether or not you should spend your hard-earned money to watch, and we'll do it for you.
Yes. Disney, yo. Come on, man. Don't be killing the brand.
Don't do it.
Don't be killing the brand.
You spent a lot of money. You made a lot of money back. But don't kill it.
Don't kill it. That's the fear I've had when you guys bought it, that you're going to start killing the brand. And
don't do it.
You kind of are right now. Can you stop it, please?
People will probably still go watch this. It's because of the hype. But I want it to be better.
Yes. I'm
not buying it on Blu-ray or home DVD. Or Blu-ray.
I might still, because I'm a Star Wars.
I might download it. And we're out. Peace.